Welcome to another episode of the Hashtags and Habits podcast. My name is Danny White, and today I am happy to welcome Dwayna Williams to the podcast. She is the co founder of TGND Consulting. She describes herself as a millennial mompreneur and finds joy in empowering other millennial moms to pursue their dreams through entrepreneurship. Dwayna has extensive experience amplifying the public presence of changemakers, purpose driven entrepreneurs, and subject matter experts, and is constantly seeking new and innovative ways to promote buzzworthy ideas. Dwayna is an alumna of North Carolina Central, where she earned a bachelor's degree in mass communications with a concentration in broadcast media, and Georgia State University, where she earned a master's degree in marketing. Before starting TGND in 2016, Dwayna worked in corporate and freelance settings, developing the skills she needed to become the successful entrepreneur that she is today. Welcome to the podcast, Dwayna.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm excited about the conversation that we're going to have today.
Awesome. I'm excited as well. So, share with us a little bit more about your business, TGND Consulting, and how you kind of got into the public relations and marketing space.
Yeah, so TGND Consulting, we actually work with women-led businesses and mompreneurs with lifestyle brands, and we help them elevate magical brands through media relations, PR events, brand strategy, as well as consulting. So when it comes to just making sure that um, they are implementing things within their business outside of PR, when it comes to marketing, we want to be able to consult them on that because we know that PR is a part of the marketing funnel, it's not the entirety of the marketing funnel. And with that being said, if the marketing strategy is not in place, the PR doesn't work, right?
Right.
So it works in tandem with the overall strategy. So we make sure we consult with them on those different things. So when it comes to the clientele that we work with mompreneurs because we are mompreneurs ourselves. We are moms to two boys. One of mine that is just woke up from his nap. I hear him crying. So apologies, guys, if you hear him on the call. Sometimes he shows up on the calls with me and sometimes he doesn't.
Listen, we welcome the kids. We love the kids. We welcome the kids. They are a part of our lives.
Listen, you know that trending TikTok and Instagram reel that's like, of course this happens.
Right.
Did one about I'm a mompreneur, and it's like I'm a mompreneur. And then we have the kids up on the screen because they join the meetings and interviews and things with us. So yeah.
Yes, they're welcome.
Yes. So we're gonna keep him quiet here for a second. Hold on one second.
Okay, no worries.
Okay. Yeah, so those are the women that we like to work with is women-led businesses and mompreneurs with lifestyle brands. And we feel like this is like really a part of our like gifts when it comes to just allowing ourselves to elevate magical brands when it comes to these women and mompreneurs, because again, we are mompreneurs ourselves and we know what it takes day in and day out, the challenges that we face, the fears that we feel, the things that we want to overcome, the desires that we have. So we want to make sure that we're able to amplify the brands and businesses of other women and mompreneurs just like ourselves. So that is our target audience. When it comes to just my overall experience and how I got to where I am today, actually. So I am located in Atlanta, Georgia, but I moved here about 8.5 years ago, and I moved here on a mission. Okay, Danny, I was just like, you know what? I graduated undergrad. I was not able to find a career within PR and marketing. It was just really hard for me to get my foot in the door. I was applying to endless jobs day to day, getting endless denial emails on a day-to-day basis. And that duration of time when I was applying to jobs and then postgraduate, I was really struggling with my mental health. Okay. I don't think many people talk about that.
I can understand that for sure. Yeah.
That year or so after graduating undergrad is one of the most challenging times you can ever think of, right? And I say it's one of the most challenging times for me because I've done everything that I felt like I needed to do in order to get into my career. One have a bachelor's degree in mass communications. I graduated cum laude. I had 3 to 4 internships during my undergrad experience. I'm just like, what is it? Why is these doors not opening for me? I'm not understanding. So I really struggled during that duration of time. And I had to come to the realization that maybe being in Charlotte, North Carolina isn't the place for me anymore. Because I'm originally from New Jersey, but I went to high school in Charlotte. So I ended up moving back there after I graduated undergrad to pursue my career. So I decided to move to Atlanta. Fast forward 8.5 years now. I started off as a junior publicist. I came out here with like $2,000, $3,000 saved from working a second job at the Gap after I got off my full-time job. I was actually a contractor with the company. And the crazy thing is, like right before I decided to make my move to Atlanta, I got the opportunity to be a full-time employee there. I was a contractor through like one of those third parties that hire on contractors and for any
Staffing
businesses.
agencies, yeah.
And so like literally I just was like, you know what? Forget this opportunity that just opened. You know, I'm finally now becoming an employee in a sense. But I was just like, you know what? This is not necessarily the job you want to do.
Yeah.
I don't think this is the place where you're going to grow in your career. Go ahead and move, explore your options. And then I also knew that I wanted to get into grad school. So that's what I did when I moved to Atlanta. I got into grad school a couple of years after moving to Atlanta. I started off as a junior publicist. I had $3,000 saved. I started working for different companies as contractors and freelancers. I eventually became an employee at a company, a film company. I was like offering my PR services to them because I wanted to do that. So I was actually an office. All right, all right. Okay. Yeah, so I was actually an office manager during the time that I started offering.
Hi.
Hi, I'm here.
Say, I don't want to talk to you.
He's not
No.
feeling it today. So I was, you want to get down? Huh? Do you want to get down? Okay. I'm gonna wait until I'm trying to get him not to cry. Come on, get down there. Get down. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so I was actually an office manager, and I was offering like PR services to them, and I'm just kind of like getting my foot in the door for them to eventually open up a position for me to do PR within their company because I really enjoyed working at that Black film company that I was working at. Needless to say, it didn't work out. I got accepted into grad school, so I just ended up starting grad school. Then during that process, I realized I was having my first son. There was just like a lot of major transitions in my journey of even getting to Atlanta, but then also during this path of me living in Atlanta, I've had major opportunities to where I was able to grow my skills in PR and social media marketing, but then also couple it with education for my master's degree at Georgia State University. And here we are today operating in the business for going on 8 years now. I say 8 years because we officially got the LLC 8 years ago, but when we started functioning as a business, we were about 2 years in, and it was like, okay, you're a business, but all you have is the LLC. You don't have the structure of a business. You don't have a business bank account. You don't have anything set up.
Anything else? Yeah.
Yeah, to solidify you as a business owner. So 2 years into obtaining the LLC, we really structured ourselves as a business owner, as a business. And here we are today, amplifying brands of women with lifestyle brands, women-owned businesses with lifestyle brands, and we are just changing. I feel like we're changing I won't say trajectory, but we are changing like the scope of like what PR is. And I don't want to say that we're doing things outside of what publicists actually do, but one of the things that sets us apart is that we couple our traditional PR skills with actual brand strategy and social media marketing, because that's where we are in the space today with the growth of technology and AI. So we make sure that any of the PR campaigns that we're working on, we're attaching digital strategies and marketing strategies that's going to enhance our PR efforts, so that way we can really have a successful campaign.
Awesome. I love that story. So I have a similar story of like when graduating from getting your bachelor's degree and like you put in all the work and like then you apply to these hundreds of jobs and like you're not qualified enough to get a job, but you've done put in all this 4 years of education to get to where you want to go. And I understand that struggle is it can be very depressing at a certain point. But
I was just like, I was really questioning my faith around that time. I'm like, God, what do you love me? Like, what is your plan for me? What is happening?
Yeah.
Like, why me? I was really in that space of why me. And that as I've grown as an entrepreneur to today, like I realized that I had to do a lot of spiritual work and mindset shifts to even be where I am today, because that mindset that I had then of the why me, that's like the opposite of what you need to have to be a successful entrepreneur, because they're going to be so many challenges, so many different ebbs and flows as you try to grow your business and brand, that, playing victim and saying, stomping your feet is just really not going to work.
Yeah, throwing a temper tantrum, that's not going to help us. Okay, so you mentioned that you and someone else have founded the company. Your twin sister is also your co-founder. Like, how does that work? How does the family dynamic work of like working with a sibling?
Yeah, so you know what? Like Donna actually just came into business full time 2 years ago. So about the first 6 years, I was running this thing by myself. I was just like in it. I'm like, you know what? We're gonna get this done. Donna was working full time as a sales agent and trainer, climbing up the corporate ladder at a well-known security company out in Charlotte, North Carolina. And towards like that 6 year mark, I was just like, okay, what are we doing? You saying you in this business, but you ain't in this business, right? I think a lot of times too, as you go through this journey, you're kind of like have a scared mindset to where it's like you're not really willing to take the risk. And being an entrepreneur, that's technically what it is. You're a person that is willing to take a risk, right?
Yes.
And that's something that me and Donna had to work through when we first started, because she wasn't willing to take the risk. And towards the 6 year mark, I just had to kind of like lay it out. I'm like, either we're going to do this together or we're not. And since the 2 years that she's been full time in the business, she ended up, putting in her 2 weeks notice and was just like, okay, Dwayna, we're going to do this. I'm like, okay, we're going to do it then. We have been doing really well for ourselves. We have been meeting sales goals that we've never desired. Well, not never desired, but never realized that we were capable of meeting. We actually have also been growing team. We've been doing really good with networking and just making sure we're getting our name out there. And I feel like being twins in business is a whole different thing outside of just being family in business, because we've grown up sharing rooms our whole lives. We've grown up in the womb together, like doing everything together. So learning how to work with each other was a whole different ball game that we didn't realize that we needed to really understand and allow ourselves to really be able to communicate in the workspace of being business owners with each other.
Right. I love that, because sometimes in families it can be very difficult to like switch the brain from like you're my sister or you're my aunt or you're my cousin to like you're my business partner. It's a different type of line of thinking that has to happen in that process. So yay for the both of you.
Yes, thank you. And it's so funny because Danny, we actually, like, after a while we had to realize that we needed to separate the two, because at first we were like, there's no need to separate the two. We can have this text thread, we can talk about business, we can talk about personal, we can talk about family, we can talk about whatever, right? And then we had to realize, okay, no, we need to separate the two. So whenever we're having a conversation, and we sometimes business happen to jump into the conversation, I have to say, okay, this is your business partner Dwayna speaking now. I'm like, and then we're talking about business and somehow personal comes up. Okay, this is your sister speaking now. So we have to really be able to differentiate the two.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, what are some of the common misconceptions that small business owners have about public relations? Like, they know it should be done, but sometimes they think it's the whole marketing strategy is just public relations because that's what they see, right? But it's not. We both know it's not. What are some of the other myths that are out there that business owners believe?
There's this huge misconception about PR, and one of them is and one of the things that's been trending over the end of the year, beginning of this year, is that PR is a scam. Okay. And I think people have this misconception because in order to invest into PR, you have to spend some money. Okay. It's not something that you could just pay hourly, do for 20 hours and then stop it and say, okay, I'm done with PR now. It's a process and it takes time. And PR campaigns, to work with a publicist or a PR manager, you have to be able to invest in monthly retainers. Okay. And those monthly retainers are not cheap.
Right.
A lot of times, you may find somebody that does have a cheap price or may charge hourly for PR. And that's where the scam comes in at, because those people may not necessarily get the results that the clientele is looking for. And now there's like this watered down version of what PR is, and that's not it, right? So I would say that one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's a scam, that it doesn't work. It does. PR is a process. So when we start off with our clients, we're not letting them, we're not saying, hey, tomorrow you're going to be on Good Morning America. It doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen that way. Yeah.
Even if you are an established brand, it still doesn't happen like that, right? Because it's a process. We have to really hone in on our media contacts. We have to make sure that your brand message aligns with what it is that you're putting out there for your business goals. We have to make sure that you have a strategy and a campaign in place that makes sense with your goals and what it is that you're looking forward to accomplish for the year. We actually create a press plan before even launching your PR campaign with us. And that way we outline the entirety of what the PR campaign looked like, based on tactics, based on goals, based on metrics, based on media publications that we're reaching out to. But one of the things that I really want to make sure that people understand is that PR is a process. It takes time. So if you're not willing to invest at least 6 months into your PR efforts, you are not ready for PR.
Gotcha.
Right? Okay. You are not ready for PR. I think another big misconception is that PR equates to advertising, and it doesn't. Just because you pay $4,000 monthly retainer doesn't mean that you're going to automatically get some advertising or a paid placement to go along with what it is that you pay for. You're paying for us to create opportunities for you. You're paying for us to create strategy for you. You're paying for us to do the things that it takes day to day to even get the name out there, like crafting pitch angles and making sure that your presence, your digital presence, is cohesive. Making sure that you have brand images to align with the message that we're putting out there. Making sure that your brand message is clear. Making sure that your brand message has a story. These are things that these are things that are, I will say, intangible. I think that's the term that I want to use, that people don't realize that they're getting when it comes to working with a PR manager or a publicist. So those two things I feel like are the biggest things, that PR is a scam and then that PR equates to advertising, and it doesn't. Again, as we mentioned, PR is a part of the marketing funnel. So you have the entire marketing funnel, and the PR is a piece of that. And as we are working as publicists and as PR managers to increase your brand exposure and awareness and to create opportunities for you, the other parts of your marketing funnel has to be operating and working efficiently. So I give an example. Like, we had a client, and I feel like I've worked with a few people to where this is why me and Donna kind of decided to come into business together. So I'm gonna give you a couple of examples. So one of them, we have this great thought leader that has great tips around how to the coach, right? The client is a coach, and they're sharing insight on how we can increase the happiness or the joy in our lives, right? So you're this great thought leader, you have the credentials to match it, but you don't have a website, right? You don't have a website.
Yep,
Or
big miss.
I go to Instagram and Facebook and I cannot tell what it is that you do. It's not clear in your bio. The messages that you're pushing out there as far as the content doesn't align. You are the thought leader that you say you are. And we did craft a great pitch for you that got you featured on local TV. But one of the things that makes it difficult is them not being able to, and I say them as in the media, not being able to find you. If I can't Google you, why are you that important to bring on the show?
Right.
If I can't Google you and find anything about you, how do I know that you're going to benefit my audience? How do I know that you're credible? Right? So those are like some things that deterred your PR campaign from being successful. So this is why we offer the consulting and aspect to make sure that the things that we do as publicists and as PR managers don't go to waste because you don't have the proper marketing funnel and things in your marketing campaign set up. Another example is one of the things that is a pet peeve of mine. We get clients in that may be at the top of their niche, right? As far as like one of the top sellers, the top producers, the top whatever in their niche. But then they are new at PR. This is the first time they're ever doing PR.
No one's ever heard of them.
You never heard of them, but they're turning down PR opportunities and interviews because the outlet is not big enough. And this goes back to the PR as a process, because if you know a PR as a process, you know you got to start from somewhere.
Yes, right.
So the smaller opportunities will then equate to bigger opportunities. The small opportunities work as practice for when you are ready for the big opportunities.
Right.
How can you decline an iHeartRadio interview if you're new to PR? First of all, if you want to be on Tom Joyner Morning Show, why would Tom Joyner let you on his show when he has no
track record of you?
You being able to even complete a radio interview with clear and concise with the story. We don't even know that you can do that, or that you're capable of doing that. A national publication is not going to let you on their show because they don't even know if you're capable of doing that, right? So these are things that I just want to make sure people are aware of. Like, you have to start somewhere. You have to start small. All the bigger opportunities are just not going to, be sitting at the doorstep. Even if we have the contacts, you still have to work through your angles, through your PR campaign. You have to grow and start somewhere. But those are the two examples that I just wanted to give as far as like different things that has transpired within working with clients that kind of make it harder for your PR efforts to even take off or skyrocket. And then one person we worked with, we got over 40 opportunities for media interviews. But they wasn't really able to see the results of that because their marketing campaign wasn't together. They weren't doing inbound marketing. They weren't sharing their features and wins. They weren't taking their customers behind the scenes with them. They weren't utilizing social media as they need to. Like they're not even doing ads if they have products. There's a whole bunch of different things that we're missing in the process of their marketing funnel, that even though we got all these wins for them with PR features and opportunities and partnerships, they really didn't see the fruits of the labor because their entire marketing funnel wasn't together. Yes. So PR is a part of the funnel, and in order for it to work, it has to work in tandem with your marketing funnel. So there has to be marketing strategies put together and in place.
Got it. So back to the point about PR not being a scam, which it is not when it's run the right way, right? What are some questions that business owners can ask when they're seeking to get an agency, right, to represent them or to get them in media outlets? There are companies that overcharge and don't get results or whatever, but what are some of those questions that they should ask to actually sign on with the right agency?
Yeah, so first I will ask, what is PR? So everybody has this thought about what PR is and don't really know, right?
Mm-hmm.
PR is, so as a publicist, we are creating opportunities for you. We are getting you featured in the media. Our overall goal is to create brandness, increase your brand awareness and exposure. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So brand awareness and exposure does not equate to $1. Our sole purpose is to increase your brand awareness and exposure to then result in somebody trusting you with their coins and
Mm-hmm.
then wanting to buy into what it is that you're selling.
Right.
We are there to persuade them to want to know more about what it is that you have, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is what we do. So from the first question is really understanding what PR is and what PR services they provide, and getting a clear and concise outline of what that will look like for you and how their PR services can help you with what it is that you're doing. But the overall goal is to know that you are wanting to increase your brand awareness and exposure, right?
Right.
And how do
Mm-hmm.
you know that? How do you know that you're ready to increase your brand awareness and exposure? Maybe you already are a multiple six-figure business and you are looking to expand and increase your audience.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're ready for PR, right? Maybe you are newer to the space and you want people to, hey, know that I'm this thought leader expert in this space. Hey, I have
Mm-hmm.
some words to say. I'm here. You are ready for PR, but you have to be willing to invest.
Yeah.
Um, so those are ways that you can know that you're ready for PR. Also, if you're launching a new product or service, right? Again, the overall aspect of it is what it is that we're trying to do is increase your reach. Get your product or service in front of the faces of people that you want to be your target audience.
Gotcha.
Um, so even knowing, am I ready for PR? You can even
Mm-hmm.
ask the agency that. Based on the analysis that they have with you, they will tell you, hey, I don't think you're ready yet,
Right.
or
Yeah.
you may be ready, but these are some things that you need to have in place in order to get there. So that's another question I would ask. Another question I would ask is, how can PR benefit my company based on these marketing strategies that I have? And maybe even share the different marketing strategies that you're already doing within business. So then that
Mm-hmm.
way you can know that, okay, I am really ready for PR because I have these things set up. You
Right.
can't tell me that you're ready for PR and you don't have a website.
Yeah.
You
That's
can't,
baseline. That is the baseline, guys. You need a website.
you can't even tell Dan, you can't even tell me that you're ready for PR and you don't even have a headshot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? It's like certain things, it's just like you don't even have the basics down, right? So really asking them, I feel like those three questions I think would be beneficial. And then also reviewing testimonials, looking at case studies, um, asking them for that type of information if it's not on their website and visible, asking for
Mm-hmm.
their electronic media kit. These are things that you want to be asking these PR companies to share with you, so that way you can really determine if this is the PR company for you. And then I also think too, just aligning with the publicist that is in your niche, right? I wouldn't say I wouldn't have a music artist come to me saying they want PR, and I'm like, yeah, I can do it for you. I'm just like, no, I
Right.
work with I
A
work with my
certain target.
business owner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So making sure that you're working with the PR company that actually works with the type of clientele that you are is important. So making sure and asking them, hey, have you ever worked with somebody in this field before? What are the results that you were able to obtain for them? Making sure that you know what it is that they're offering for you. So that way you can really make it a smart decision, because again, you have to be willing to invest at least 6 months, at least minimum 6 months into your PR retainers.
Gotcha. So for the business owner that thinks they're ready for PR, but they have limited budget and limited resources, right? Let's say that they have the website, they might have a couple of reviews of their product, they might have they're posting on social media correctly, they have their brand messaging. What are things that they can do to start getting that visibility while they're building up to that PR retainer?
Yeah, so I will give you three things. Okay. So the first thing I would say do is Share your thought leadership as an expert. And you could do this as a blogger. You can have your own blog on your website to where you're sharing insight, giving tips, strategies, and steps. Or you can be a guest writer, or do guest appearances for publications that may be on a platform like Medium, right?
Okay.
Share your thought leadership, typing up articles, and it's so easy to do this now with AI.
AI, yeah.
Chat GPT. You could even speak into the phone, speak to Chat GPT, share your thought leadership on a specific topic, and it can create an article for you. Post that article, share the article, right? And these are ways that you could actually increase traffic to your website as well, because if you're doing guest posts or even blog posts, that helps with SEO.
Right.
So linking back to your website, if you're doing guest posts, if you're doing blog posts on your website, making sure that you are including SEO in that, so then that way you can increase your thought leadership and awareness there. People can search you. They could be searching Google for a life coach in Atlanta, and you pop up because you have blog posts that pulls you up for the search engine. So that's one way you can do that. The second way you can do it is by making sure you are telling your story. Okay. So when it comes to publicists and PR managers, we are storytellers. We're able to really craft your brand message and your story based on your experiences, based on your skills, based on your network. We are able to tie those different characteristics and life experiences and wove them into a story, a compelling story, to be able to amplify who it is that you are. And one of the ways that you can be able to incorporate and tell your own story is by really sitting down and asking yourself some questions, digging deep, and responding to those questions. We all actually offer this strategy in our PR Architect workshop, to where we literally give you step-by-step details around crafting your story, so that way you can pitch yourself to the media. And this is if you're not ready for the monthly retainers, but you know that PR is important, and you want to start getting out there. So if you're not doing guest articles or blog posts on your website, you can craft your story, craft it with key elements, and then you can pitch yourself to the media based on the crafted story that you have. Another way that you can go ahead and utilize PR within your business is by sharing that story via video content on social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram Reel. For me, I feel like TikTok, and I know they're going through some stuff where the US may ban them, and it's going on, but really, like, I feel like TikTok is where stories live.
Yes.
And the more I'm on TikTok, the more I realize that, like, the people that I end up following is because they have a story.
Right.
They literally come on. When you go to their platform, they are the person that is known for this. Now, I'm gonna give you an example of the Risa Tisa.
Risa Tisa, yeah.
Okay, so we know who she is, right? Because she had a story to tell, and the story was, who the F did she marry?
Yes.
So I know that when I come to Risa Tisa page, I'm gonna get content on her story around who she married. Like from the nitty to the gritty of everything that she experienced to what she found out to today, as far as how to overcome it, right? But I have the story about where she started, how she got to where she was, how she overcame where she was, and now we see how she's the results of the fruits from her labor and I will say fruits of her labor, because it wasn't something that was positive that she went through. It was tragedy, right? It was a negative story that turned into triumph. But we have followed the story, and she has told the story very well on TikTok.
Yes.
So make sure that you utilize the digital platforms and social platforms like TikTok or Instagram to share that story via video content, because video is in and it's not going anywhere. And we need to be able to continue to couple that with our PR campaigns. Another platform that is really good that you can utilize is YouTube. So if you're not on somebody's podcast, create your own.
Create your own. Yeah.
Create your own. And you don't necessarily, I mean, if you want to go ahead and upload your podcast to the major podcast platforms, go ahead and do that. Or if you want to just get on video and share thought leadership via video content, do that as well. Making sure you're utilizing your IG stories, because that's where you build trust at, on your IG stories, your Instagram stories. So making sure that you're utilizing the video content to build trust. So then that way, you can go ahead and then increase your brand awareness and exposure on your own. So those are some things that I would say.
Gotcha. What do you say to the person that doesn't feel comfortable putting themselves on video? Like, what do you say to that business owner?
Yeah, so okay, so if you do not want to be the face of your brand, that is perfectly fine, okay? There are many people that don't desire to do that. They may be introverted, they may not necessarily want to have their face everywhere. When you don't desire to be the face of your brand, there are other ways that you can utilize PR, but you have to be willing to have like a spokesperson for you, okay? And when I say that, the spokesperson could be your customers. So instead of having your face on a video, I want to see your customer speaking on video. I want to hear your customer story, right? And a great example may be a college prep program, right? So a college prep program, they help students get into college. The student may not have, they may have zero scholarships before starting this college prep program, but by the time they're finished with the college prep program, they have thousands of dollars in scholarships, right? And now they're able to not have to spend their own money going to school, paying for school. I want to hear that story.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So you don't have to tell me that you did this and this is the client you work with. Let your client tell me for you. So you could literally create a whole commercial around your client's story. I mean, one of the brands that really does great with this is Nike.
Yeah.
They tell the stories of athletes. They tell the stories of the individuals, their customers that are wearing their merchandise. We know who Nike is because of the storytelling that they do. So making sure that you are able to, if you don't want to tell your own story, which is perfectly fine, you're telling the story of your consumers. You're allowing your consumers to share testimonials. You're trying to figure out ways that storytelling can happen within your business without it being specifically about you.
Right.
So I would utilize, for anybody that doesn't want to be the face of their brand, I would utilize the customer's voice. So they could be the voice of your brand. Another thing that I would say when it comes to that, if you are a smaller business, you may not have money, the money to have a spokesperson for your business, but that's what publicists do. And you see plenty of corporations that are that have a set PR publicist that literally speaks for them. Like they're speaking for the company. It's not necessarily the CEO or the president or the founder. They have an actual spokesperson that speaks on their behalf. So if you do have the money to invest into having a publicist do that for you, then do that. But you have to be able to share a story of somebody. If it's not yourself, you have to be able to pull that story from somewhere. Because if you don't have the stories, nobody's going to be able to connect with you.
Right, for sure. Yeah. So if the business owner doesn't want to be the person to do it, then customers can tell the story, and customer testimonials are really important.
Yeah, or one of the things that I want to kind of push out there too is community relations is a really good way to increase that brand awareness and exposure without you necessarily being the face. So putting on community events and having the people that work for you be out there sharing their insight, and those, again, that goes back to community. Now the actual community is creating the story for you because you created this community event. Your name is on the brand name is on the event, and now you have the community sharing insight about the event because they're going to be tweeting about it. They're going to be in person sharing content. I can't tell you an event I haven't went to where I'm not out recording something.
Yeah.
You have user-generated content. So now the community again is sharing your story.
That is one of the elements that helps content to go viral. Like so many people posting about the same thing at the same time is one of those elements. So that's really important. Very good information that you have provided. So where can people learn more about you sign up for your workshop that you have coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, you can find us at TGND Consulting pretty much on every platform. So tgndconsulting.com is where you can learn more about what it is that we do and the services we provide. And also the workshop, you can access it from our website. And then follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. We are on other platforms too, but the main platforms we like to utilize is Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. And you can find us at TGND Consulting again. Instagram, we love Instagram. So Instagram is like literally our bread and butter. So making sure that you follow us on Instagram to stay in the know about all the things that we have going on, to catch our Reels content, to get to know us a little bit more outside of just being the co-founders of TGND Consulting. You'll really be able to connect with us and build trust with us through the content that we post there.
Awesome. Okay, tgndconsulting.com and on social media, that same name. Dwayna, we're wrapping up. So if you can share like your top business or PR insight with our audience, give us just a condensed 3 to 5 minute version of like any valuable advice you would leave us with.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and talk about story again, because I feel like that's one of the main things that a lot of people are missing when it comes to being able to be ready for PR. You have to be willing to tell your story, right? So if you don't have stories of your consumers, of your community, or your own story that you want to tell, PR is not necessarily for you. So making sure that you are able to tell your story, share your experiences, really incorporate your why and your purpose into your story, because that's going to allow individuals to connect with you, build trust with you, and to know that they are literally just like you, or just like your consumers, or just like your community, and they want to be a part of that wave. So allow them to want to know more and want to be a part of the community that you're building, and you do that through storytelling. So making sure that you incorporate that. If you are a business owner that desires to be the face of your brand, share your story. If you are we have somebody that we worked with that realized that they took the workshop and they realized, I'm not really telling the story. I thought I was doing the things. I thought I was showing up on social media. I have these great brand photos. I have the website. I thought I was sharing my story, but I haven't really shared my story. And taking the workshop will really allow you to figure out what you're missing within that story. And one of the things that she was missing, the fact that she is a sickle cell survivor that is transitioned from corporate to full-time entrepreneur, running a business with over 30 clients. Why? Now, the whole part of being a sickle cell survivor, adding that to your story makes me believe you even more. Right? So making sure that these different pieces and experiences within your life, you're sharing. And again, we don't have to tell all of our health history. No, I'm not saying that, that's private information, but certain things within your story that you're able to pull out to be able to connect with other people, knowing that you're a sickle cell survivor, that not only does things for your clients, it does things for partnerships. Now your story is out there. I could partner with nonprofits for sickle cell. I can create community events around pushing the narrative around wanting to increase the awareness around sickle cell. You see, so now me being able to pull that from my story helps grow my business in other areas and increases brand awareness and exposure through different opportunities that I didn't even think of. So being able to do that, I think, is really important.
Absolutely.
So I'll that one.
Absolutely. Storytelling is the trend of 2024. I'm seeing a lot more personal brands, like executives, starting to tell like the backstory of how they got to where they are. So this is very good. Storytelling takes time. It takes time to like dig deep and craft, pull out of you what a lot of us don't want to share. But it's part of our formation. Like if we didn't have these experiences, we probably wouldn't be where we are. So storytelling, it's the trend for this year. It's the thing that's happening. It's the thing people are believing. Thank you so much, Dwayna, for your time. I really appreciate you and all of the insights that you have shared. The website is tgndconsulting.com. There's a PR architect workshop as well, which we'll put the links to the website and to the workshop in the comments, as well as Dwayna's social media links. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, and Amir. Thank you.